The would-be writer sits down to write his story. He pulls out his pen and his notebook and opens to a blank page and touches the pen to the paper. Then he stops. He can't write a story. He doesn't have a unique or original thought in his head. He doesn't even know what a story is.
What is a story?
Many writers have this problem, but attempt to soldier on anyway, which is why there are so many poorly told, never finished, or never started stories in the world. But understanding what a story is and what it does can only help us as craftsmen. Clarifying our concept of story helps us clearly picture the goal of our writing. And it's often easier to start and finish something if you know what the goal of it is. So what is a story? Per Leon Sermalian in Techniques of Fiction Writing, Measure and Madness, a story is a coherent account of a significant emotional experience, or a series of related experiences organized into a perfect whole. But what does that mean? The fiction writer recreates human events, which might be external or mental, imagined or real, and are emotional experiences for the people involved in them. That word recreates is crucially important here. He doesn't say creates, he says recreates. What this means is that it's not a writer's job to build a story from whole cloth, to create the whole thing completely from scratch. Writing is recreation. A story, says Sermalian, is the imitation of an action, one action, complete in itself. The word action has many meanings here, so we want to conceive it broadly. Think of it as the central conflict or the driving motive of the story. A lot of things happen in The Lord of the Rings, but the main action, the one complete action that forms the heart of the story, is Frodo's quest to destroy the ring. In Pride and Prejudice, it's Elizabeth and Darcy falling in love, the will they, won't they. In Frankenstein, it's Victor's finally taking responsibility for what he's creating, finishing the action that he began. By a complete action, at least in fiction, we do not necessarily mean the final answer to the emotional problem or the resolution of a conflict. But the action should be complete enough to reveal the underlying truth in the story, and what is important is this revelation. This underlying truth doesn't need to be some clear thematic statement that the writer is trying to communicate. You don't want to be preachy, after all. But there should be some deeper meaning, some point, some answer to the so what question. The writer begins with the disorder of life and reduces it to some order before he can recreate it in words. He imitates then the rearrangement of life and not life itself, which is too vast, too chaotic. Life cannot be rendered in all its infinite complexity, and a picture of it in fiction is a selected image. The writer can recreate only a very small part of it, and in fiction, the part stands for the whole. It is a symbolic picture, a metaphor. What we're doing as fiction writers is taking abstract concepts and giving them concrete physical form, in order for our readers to draw their own abstract concepts and ideas from those concrete forms. The writer removes the insignificant, the irrelevant, and preserves only that which is essential to his purpose. And it is not so much the experience itself as the significance of it that excites him. The real story is the meaning of the event. So a fictional story is essentially a concrete lie that illustrates a more general or abstract truth or deeper meaning. The perceptive writer searches for hidden meanings in human events and builds his stories around them. So writers observe the world, recognize universal ideas within singular events, then imitate those singular events with their own artistic flair to illustrate the universal ideas. It's this continuous process of particularizing and abstracting, abstracting and particularizing. The writer can universalize. The writer acts as a spokesman of his group, his class, his nation, and indeed of the whole human race. And through his insight into human nature and his ability to verbalize it, the writer enlarges the life experience of the reader and gives us the kind of knowledge which he alone can give. The writer serves a social purpose through mimesis. Again, Writing is recreation, not creation itself. We recreate specific instances to illustrate general ideas. We're not drawing stories magically from the ether. We're drawing them from our own experience of life, combined with the lessons we've learned from other stories we've encountered, both fictional and factual. So don't feel the pressure of originality too acutely. We're all imitators. But what if your deeper ideas are themselves unclear? I wouldn't worry too much about that. Fiction can never be a completely lucid mimesis. We are dealing with approximations, with the creation of illusions, for reality itself is beyond our grasp when we try to express it with words. Understanding all of this gives us insight into the power and importance of fiction, along with the necessary humility in recognizing its limitations. Fiction writers walk a weird path, to say the least. From disorder to order, plot. From multiplicity to unity. From the particular to the general, theme. And back to the particular, through concrete correlates. From matter to form. This, briefly, seems to be the creative process in fiction. So if you're trying to write a story and all you have in your head is chaos, that's okay. It's where everybody starts. That chaos is where the stories come from. It's your job as a writer to pull those stories out of the maelstrom, to strip away the inessential messiness of reality, to get to the core necessary ideas of fiction. If you'd like more help with this process of digging through the chaos, consider becoming a member of the channel. You'll get cool stuff and things for a low, low price, and you'll be helping me to stay alive and talk writing. A million thanks to my current members. Back to the meaning of story. A good story represents a reality larger than itself. If it is, for instance, the struggle of a man and woman to find happiness, or for sheer survival, the writer finds a universal meaning in their struggle, and the moment he does that, he has a story. This meaning is an idea dramatized, structured, made concrete, visible, communicable. In fiction, the idea is not an abstract concept as it might be in philosophy, but a living, sensuous picture of life. The idea itself isn't the story. Revenge leads to mutual destruction isn't the story of Titus Andronicus. Fate can crush even the mightiest isn't the story of Oedipus Rex. All human beings deserve freedom and dignity isn't the story of Huckleberry Finn. No idea, no matter how good, can make itself a good story. But the converse is also kind of true. No story can be good if it lacks an idea. The classic Aristotelian idea of art holds that art is imitation. This shouldn't encourage us to plagiarize, but it also shouldn't scare us into an originality at all costs mindset. Yes, as Sermalian says, a writer is a mimos or mime on the stage of life. He is like an actor. The writer is mimicking or imitating life, just like an actor does. But it's not the mimicry of a Xerox copier. Mere imitation alone is not enough. A revealing imitation. That is the secret of writing. Every writer recreates in words what he sees, and there are different ways of seeing. The honest writer can give only his own view of the world, and if it is truly his, there is likely to be something new and different about it. The originality, as always, comes in the execution. Don't worry if the themes of your story have been expressed before. They haven't been expressed in the way your story will express them. Feed your mind with stories and experiences. Trust the subconscious part of the process. Pick the fictional people and events you want to write about, and let your familiar but different imitation of real people and events illustrate your deeper thoughts and values. Every good novel or short story is a successful experiment in technique. The writer is engaged in a constant struggle with chaos. He is always fighting through the fog to make his meaning clear. Enjoy fighting through that fog, my friends. Let me know what story means to you and how that has influenced your writing in the comments below. And like the video and subscribe to the channel while you're down there. Until next time, good luck and good writing. Peace.